what are we doing in terms of establishing a precedent when it comes to the interference with the pedantic minutia of the day-to-day engineering and architectural work that happens over at DPW when it comes to the replacement of these 60 some odd bridges in town? Are we going to keep doing this? Are we going to do this for these bridges along the West Aspetuck that are along the Cherniske Road detour? Are we going to keep doing this? Is this going to just like continuously cost us millions and millions and millions of dollars for every single culvert and bridge we have to replace in town? And take half a decade every time we do it? Or are we going to tell these people, no, enough is enough. Jack Healy, your job is to build a bridge. Build a bridge. Right? Like, and this is no dig on Jack Healy. He's been a saint in this process. And I've said on this show that if I was in his shoes, I would have been fired a year ago. I would have been fired a year ago because I would have been so fed up with all this. Right? But again, we're going to go straight to Adriana Ricchio's comments because we're now talking about a temporary bridge. And the only reason we're doing this temporary bridge is so that we have at least some way to get our police and fire across the West Aspetuck in these parts of Marial, in these parts of Upper Marial, basically Kenton, Washington, where it's going to be virtually impossible to provide adequate service in those areas without at least some way to get across this bridge. So now we're going to have a temporary bridge. And that temporary bridge is going to cost us like $200 and something thousand at least to buy and to cover this temporary service. Now we're going to be able to use it in other places. So maybe in the long run, we wind up saving money. But this is money we didn't have to spend. This bridge could have been built 2 years ago for a few $100,000. Now we're going to wind up spending millions. But go ahead and continue to move the goalpost, Adriana.
So the second thing I'd like to talk about is the proposed temporary Acro Bridge for Cherniske Road Bridge. And on paper, it seems like this might be a great idea. It could save the town money. I just hope it wouldn't be something that stays there if it's only meant for 2 years, because
it's temporary.
We'd be kicking the can down the road again.
What an unbelievable failure to adhere to the principle of charity. What an unbelievably uncharitable take on that matter. It's a temporary bridge. Do you really have that little faith in government to purchase a temporary bridge and have it not be permanent? By the way, what precedent do we have to suggest that it would be permanent? The only precedent we have to suggest that it would be permanent is because you guys keep interfering with this process. Because you guys are forcing this process to take infinite time and infinite money to complete. I have nothing to suggest in terms of your existing behavior. I have nothing to suggest you guys aren't going to just continue to do this. That you guys aren't just going to be, well, a Mayor Bass is the mayor, R next to his name, so we're going to be nonstop opposition. We're going to be in nonstop adversary mode, right? Which is what this, to me, it sounds like. It sounds to me like the opposition to this point, the goalposts have moved so many times now. The goalposts are now moving to this to concern over the temporary bridge not being temporary. Like, where are you pulling this from? Where are you pulling this from? What precedent do you have to suggest that would be the case? I have a precedent, and it's coming from you. It's coming from your interference, exactly this process. And I would love to continue to be charitable. I would love to apply Hamlin's razor, but I don't know that I can at this point. I'm struggling to do this. I'm struggling to elicit the principle of charity in this case, where again, we know what the party politics are in this town. Everybody knows everybody. This isn't some giant city. There's less than 28,000 people in this town. I can't describe this whole thing as anything other than the failure to adhere to the principle of charity on purpose, because this is preposterously uncharitable as a take.